All right, good morning, Mr. Chavez.
Morning.
Mr. Chavez, you're charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The Street Takeover Task Force was investigating a takeover in a parking lot in Harris County, Texas, when the officers observed the defendant doing donuts in the vehicle, coming within 10 to 15 feet of other vehicles that made up the pit. The officers saw the defendant do approximately 3 to 4 donuts, and undercover officers maintained visual until uniform officers made a traffic stop. The officers observed the defendant operating the vehicle in the driver's seat.
Mr. Chavez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a Texas driver's license?
Yes, sir.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Not in my name.
Then you're not allowed to drive. I'm going to have you sign an affidavit with me today promising me you're not going to drive. Let me make something else perfectly and abundantly clear to you that the Texas legislature has made it extremely easy for district attorneys across the state of Texas to seize and take cars from individuals who partake in this type of action. In fact, we had one here yesterday where a car was seized, a very, very expensive car on a second. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I find that you endanger my public, then likewise, you will go to jail. I'm going to revoke your bond if you endanger my public. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Before you start driving, you must come back and get approval from us. Do you understand? Don't just start driving because I don't want to take your word that you have a car insurance. Owen can get with you, come back. He knows how to handle this. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. But the truck has insurance.
I don't you have a lawyer. I don't want you to say anything now.
Okay.
Just get with your lawyer. He can advise you how to go forward. But I'm telling you now, I'm ordering you not to drive. You don't have car insurance.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand, Mr. Chavez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to have you come up here, swear to us that you're not going to drive. I'm going to get you to Victoria. We will have you sign a reset. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Owen. If Owen tells me that he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, it's not going to go well for you here. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, come on. Thanks, man. Hey, can you file? So we need him to also sign bond conditions. Owen, I also need him to sign bond conditions, no reckless driving, donuts, racing. So we'll have him take a seat in the jury box. Once he signs it, then
Yes, Judge.
please. Felicia,
Yes, Judge.
when did we first test Mr. Smith?
So for Mr. Smith, I see an order prior to when I was here on October 7th to have Mr. Smith go to a drug test that day. He never reported, so that's why the BVR was filed. And so then we had them test on the 9th, and those were now confirmed by the lab positive use of THC. But I believe.
So that was October 9th.
No, October 7th, we ordered them to test, they did not.
Okay.
We caught that a little late by the BVR, and then we adjusted a little bit last week, I believe, or the beginning of.
How is it that we ordered him to test in October and he's now in December testing? How on earth? It's unacceptable.
It was a court-ordered drug test, and I don't think you wanted them to come back after testing.
But if they don't test, then they're required to come back and we either make them test again or or there's other ramification, but we don't, how on earth can we go a month and a half and then nothing happens?
Yes, Judge, I understand, but we did, prior orders, we tested them again this week, and those did come back for THC.
Who was here working that day?
I can look into it, but it's really no way of knowing for sure because there was no assigned officer here at the time.
Someone had to have signed an order. To go test.
I think so, right?
There's always a way. There's always a paper trail.
Yes, Judge. Sorry, this was from the 4th. Since they never made the appointment, but it was one of our officers' noses. So
What do we do with this, Mr. Brooker? How do we hold Mr. Smith accountable?
Judge, I know what I've done since Monday. Mr. Smith and I have talked very frequently this week. I admonished him thoroughly about the THC usage. He explained to me what happened with that. and he understands the seriousness of it. He understands what's at risk. It's correct what you said, that he doesn't have any support out there, financial or otherwise. I'm actually happy that he was able to make it here on time today, because I was concerned about that. So that was twice this week. He wants to be compliant. He wants to do what's best. He wants to dispose of the case.
I don't believe that.
I know, Judge.
I don't believe that. He's telling me that you want to be compliant. I don't think so. You repeatedly do whatever you want to do without regard to court orders, and it does not work like that. You repeatedly fail to appear here. You blow off the test, and now you're testing positive. What am I supposed to do? Just let you go?
I didn't repeat, I missed one day, and that was the day I was supposed to come, and I didn't have no way up here. I didn't even.
You can take the bus.
I'm in Humble. The bus did not come out of Humble. I'm literally sleeping at the park right now, like, okay, and I'm still, okay, listen.
And Judge, even with those challenges, Tristan has been in school. Even on the Zoom appearance from last week, I believe he was Zooming in from school that day, the day that he couldn't make it, and got down here on that Monday.
I don't know what to believe with him. I really don't. Unless you provide me proof with something, I'm not going to believe a word that comes out of your mouth. I don't believe, because the problem is that you tell me that you're going to, you tell me you're going to do things, and then when it's time to, you don't. So how am I supposed to handle this? What am I supposed to do?
Judge, he came in on Monday. You ordered him to take the test. He went right over.
I literally walked here. I didn't have nowhere. I walked here.
He went over.
That was a whole 4-hour. I walked here from school. I walked here all the way from Chattanooga.
I'm not asking much. I don't want you to use. Do you understand?
Judge, if I may add, I have communicated with his grandmother. I believe it was on December 5th that I
Oh,
called her.
you spoke with Grandma.
I did.
Have you let Mr. Brooker know first?
Yes, Judge, I recorded. I took details of the conversation and shared it promptly with Mr. Brooker.
How do we go forward?
So it appears as though, based on my conversation with Miss Karen, that the defendant has gone to the house, the residence since then with his friends. He refused to leave even upon her request. There is a MOAB in place, Judge, where he was supposed to have no contact with the residents, and per his bond conditions, I don't believe he was supposed to have contact with her either. And he has gone to the residence.
And now we have even more. I mean,
And she did file a police report, I believe, Judge. She told me she called the police and they filed a report, and she has an offense number.
Mr. Brooker, do you guys want to talk about this? And then
We can, Judge. We can.
does she want him to come back or no?
Now, my understanding, and I also heard from one of the family members, I believe Tristan's sister, they don't want him to come back. And mentioned something about whatever was the underlying dispute about some property or whatever. I didn't respond to it at all. It just didn't seem like the right thing to do. But as Tristan has indicated, everything he said to me is that he's been living outside, doesn't have anywhere to go, which is my original concern with him. Took him downstairs to try to get him some kind of services. It's just not really a workable situation, but he's communicated with me. We've talked this week. This is his second time here. He took the test, Judge. He was forthright with me. He understands what can happen. I told him,
Saba,
nobody's gonna bond you out.
What do you want me to do?
Judge, just that he continue having no contact with any of the complainants. They are fearful of the defendant. They do want him to get help. I've also spoken to his mother, and she wants him to receive mental health treatment. He does have
Do you need a place
propensities
to
towards
stay?
violence.
I have like some nights
No, you were telling me earlier that you're living on the street.
I am.
Do you have a place to stay? Okay.
They told me.
If you want, we have places for you to go. I have services for you. I have Shatoria here. We can find you a place to stay if you need it, because the street, it's not a good place to live. The streets will ravage you in ways that you never know. You'll do things just to survive. It's not a good place to be. So if you need a place, we can find you a place. But that's still no excuse to violate conditions of bond. We've ordered you not to go back to this house, right? I get that you may have, issues, where to live, where to stay, who to be with, how to get there. But if they don't want you there, then you can't go. And I mean, they've already called the cops.
I spoke to his family, Judge. They were under the impression that the defendant was living with a friend in their house, so I don't know.
And that's my understanding too, and Tristan did tell me that he intended to go and stay with a friend. But that was 2 months ago, Judge. He's not paying any rent or anything. His situation has changed since then.
Look, I'm trying really hard not to put you into custody, but at some point, your actions become your own and it's on you. I'm not going to keep playing this game. I'm not, I expect you, like everybody else, to live to the conditions. When we tell you not to go back, it's mom or grandma.
I spoke to both, Judge. Grandma wants no contact.
If I hear it happens again, get ready. You're not allowed to use. And I'm telling you now, I'm going to test you for someone dropped the ball here. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I'm telling you, you're going to get tested again. And if it tests positive again, there's no excuse. Now, we have resources to help you. If you want help, all you have to do is ask. We've given you a list of places that you can call, that you can go stay. They will take you in. If you need any other resources, we're happy to help you as well. But at some point, there's just no more excuse. Understand? All right.
Good, Judge.
Hey, that's it. I mean, really, just no more tolerance. I mean, I don't know, this is what, 3, 4, how many times is this?
It's our second time back since the first time, but I do understand. I agree. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Saba. So I guess let mom and grandma know, hey, we've tightened the leash. There's no more excuses. Any more issues, let us know. And
Yes, Judge. And to be fair, it was the mother did tell me that she has not seen him. It was the grandmother. And
okay, well, that's good news. All right.
Judge and
Okay.
Mr.
Who do we have here?
McCray, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, Mr. McCray.
How you doing?
Mr. McCray, you're charged with assault, bodily injury. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On April 3rd, 2024, the officer was dispatched to an apartment in Harris County, Texas, in response to an assault call. The complainant is the defendant's daughter. The complainant is the defendant's daughter's boyfriend, and the complainant was staying with her daughter, and when she got on the phone call from her boyfriend. The defendant got upset and said he was tired of this bitch's voice, referring to the complainant. The defendant got in the complainant's face and punched her in the lip, causing pain, and for her tooth to fall out. The complainant was treated by EMS.
Mr. McCray, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, I'm going to put you in jail. Do you understand? In fact, I'm going to send you right now for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of weapons and not to have contact with the complaining witness in this case. Do you understand?
But they want to write an affidavit. Can they do that?
I don't answer questions, Mr. McCray. I'm telling you what the expectation of is while you are in this court. You can either abide by the expectation or the other thing is going to happen. Do you understand? Are you high right now?
No.
Be careful. I'm sending you for a drug test. If you fail to go take the drug test, if you fail to come back, you know what's going to happen. Just take a seat for me and then we'll get you. I'm sending you for a drug and alcohol test right now. Do you understand? Take a seat for me, sir.
Should I go to the last one?
Top of page 11. Sorry, I want to know how come up, Miss Imam.
You just met, so we
Okay.
haven't had a chance to.
I'll give you a little bit of time, but
My understanding is procedurally what has happened is she was on a pretrial diversion.
correct.
Her previous lawyer has passed away.
Mhm.
The state has rescinded or terminated the pretrial diversion that she was on. I've had a chance to kind of go through a little bit of, in the way of discovery. She wants to move forward and try to figure out what we're doing with the case, needs me to do that. By way of background, she works as a pharmacy technician at Walgreens, is a student in college. Quite a bit of mitigating stuff. I need to really have some time to dissect it all.
Is she using while she's on bond? Was that the issue?
Let me see, Judge. I'm not sure why Nathan.
Shatoria, tell me about Miss Imam, huh?
It looks like she had continuous violations on her device after being placed on a zero tolerance. She had a pattern of failing to report the visits. She failed to complete SOP. She failed to maintain the alcohol monitoring device. I don't see any, the violations on the device were skip tests.
And Judge, I think there was some times where there were some missed tests. I don't know that.
So I'll give you time,
Yes, Judge.
okay? I'm putting a scram on your ankle now, so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. And if I find that you consume alcohol, or if I find that you're consuming illegal drugs, it's really, really not going to go well for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Does she have a Texas driver license?
Well, let me talk to me.
Just,
You run it, Judge.
Mhm.
Yes, she
It
does.
hasn't been run. Okay. You're running it? Okay.
so let's do this. I'd like her to get a scram today.
Yes.
I'm also going to send her for a drug test because I want to know what, if anything, is in her system. We'll sit you off 2 weeks for you
Okay.
guys to decide what you guys want to do. Okay? Get what you need. Your case is 530 days old. It's time to decide what we're going to do. It looks like they've already kicked you out of the program. I don't know if they're going to relent and let you back in. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you now, let's just cross that bridge when we get there. But
What I would like is if in maybe 60 days or something like that, if things are going well on the scram device, maybe come back in and revisit and get a.
I don't, well, no. I don't know if I'm going to keep the case open 60 days. It's 525
Fair enough.
days. You know, I mean, I'll give you some time,
I just
but
need to make sure all the
Judge, we
discoveries.
do have an offer in on this case as well.
what is
We put in
it?
an offer, a time search.
Okay, so there's an offer. So when we come back, I'll give you 2 to 3 weeks, but when we come back, you need to either accept the plea bargain from the state or I'm going to set your case for trial. If I find that you're using or doing anything to violate the law while you're on bond, now I'm going to put you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's it. You're not allowed to drive unless you have liability insurance in your name. If you do not have car insurance, do not drive. Do you understand? Okay, so we'll give you 3 weeks,
Yes.
Mr. Garris. But at that time, when you come back,
Set it up. I will.
either accept, or if you're going to provide mitigating evidence to the state
Try to get back in the program.
before that day, so we know,
I will do that in advance.
please.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Simon. All
Thank you,
right,
Judge.
so I'm going to put the devices on her today. She gets a test today and all fees waived.
Thank you.
Judge, my apologies, I misunderstood. Could you please go over those conditions again for me?
I want to send her for a drug test now,
Yes, Judge.
and I'd like to put a scram on her ankle now today as well.
Yes, Judge.
Okay? We'll set the case. I'm sorry?
Did you want random UAs as well?
Well, no, I just want to know if she's clean now or not. And then in 3 weeks, this case is
Yes, Judge.
one way or the other.
Yes.
And then, okay,
Thank you, Judge.
all right, guys. Working. Good morning, Mr. Anderson. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 8th, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's motor vehicle after observing it failed to maintain a single lane while traveling west on Jester Boulevard. The officer observed the defendant constantly veering out of the lane and going into the second lane. The officer observed the defendant to be the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, and while speaking to the defendant, the officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and bloodshot eyes. The defendant was struggling while exiting the car and was swaying back and forth while speaking to the officer. Standard field sobriety tests were performed, HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused, and a blood search warrant was drawn and executed.
Your Honor, may I make argument, Judge?
Sure.
Thank you, Judge. The sole reason for the stop in this case was failure to maintain a single lane. Most recent case law on this is Hardin v. State, and in that case, it overturned even Lemming, and they went as far to say is that failure to maintain a single lane is not probable cause for a stop.
Well, I get it, right? You have to dictate more than just saying failure to maintain.
Yeah,
You have to have provide.
a danger to another vehicle. There's other vehicles around. And this is on TC Jester Boulevard, a very sparse road at night. And this
So
is-
what were the indicative facts?
I'm opening the offense.
Yes, Your Honor, we're looking at the offense report.
I mean, obviously, we don't have any body cam, dash cam, so I'm not,
Right, but this is just a mere probable cause. I need enough of a statement from the officer in the DIMS saying how he justified pulling the car over in light of failure to maintain a single lane. The weaving statute. I mean, do you need a bit of time? If you want to reconvene in like maybe 30
Yes,
minutes,
Judge.
it's fine.
My offense report's not loading for some reason, so.
If we may have a little bit more time.
Mr. Saman, do you have somewhere else to go?
I have Fort Bend to go to. Can I go to Fort
Well,
Bend?
That's going to take hours. If you want to, yes, because you can always zoom in. I have Zoom for
No,
you.
I'll wait. I'll
So
wait.
perhaps maybe, 15 minutes, give them time to look at the OR.
No
All right,
problem.
just take a seat for a minute, Mr. Anderson. We'll come back. For now, we'll have you sign a reset.
Oh, no, okay.
Okay. Hi, counsel.
I've got Moises Serious.
What's the last name?
Moises.
What was the last? SI? Okay.
Assume you know the one I'm talking about.
Say it again.
Somebody walking, black man walking.
Oh. Good morning, Mr. Sirius. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 8th, 2024, the officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle at 1:05 a.m. after observing it drive at a westbound on Washington Avenue, following a vehicle in front of him too closely and for having an expired registration. The defendant was the sole occupant of the vehicle and driver, and upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage, glossy eyes, and low and mumbling speech. The defendant admitted to drinking, and standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN was 6 out of 6, walk and turn 3 out of 8, and one leg stand was 1 out of 4. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused, and a blood warrant was signed and executed.
Okay. Mr. Sirius, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, sir?
I do, yes.
Okay. Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
No, it's not my vehicle.
Okay. If you don't have car insurance, then you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond. If you want to drive to follow the Texas law, you must have a Texas driver license or a driver's license from another state, and you must have liability insurance in your name.
Yes, Your
If you
Honor.
don't have both, then no driving. I am ordering you also as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, likewise, your bond will be revoked. You'll go to jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Stone, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you, you're playing games, I'm going to issue a warrant for your arrest.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll have you get with your bond conditions with Fleischer, and then you guys are free to go. All right, guys, thanks.
Thank you.
It's fine.
Right this way. Next judge is page 2. Chavez, come on up.
Okay. Did you have a,
Yeah, arrangements, Mr. Chavez.
okay.
You're good.
Good morning, Owen.
Every other weekend, we go to, there's a small restaurant called Prima Pasta. They have a singer. who wears a different blazer every time he comes in. How many
Does this look like
it? Do you, how many blazers do you, I guess?
Quite a bit. Good morning, Ms. Chestnut. Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. On December 5th, 2024, the officer responded to a flock hit for a stolen license plate, and upon locating the motor vehicle, the officer conducted a traffic stop. Upon contact with the defendant, the driver of the vehicle, the officer detected an odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, and red glassy eyes. The officer confirmed the VIN was a match with the stolen vehicle hit on MDT, and the defendant admitted to drinking 2 drinks, one of which was a large margarita. The standard field sobriety tests were conducted. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 5 out of 8, one leg stand 0 out of 4. And the reason for one leg stand being so low is because the defendant walked instead of doing the one leg stand. The DIC was read but refused. Blood search warrant was drawn and executed.
All I see is just the DWI. That's it.
Yes, Your Honor, there was no charges filed, and I don't know the reason for that. We can look more into that, but
It's not, okay, so any prior DWIs?
no, Your Honor.
Did you run or NCIC?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Chestnut, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Have you run a license?
It's eligible, Your Honor.
I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to drive any vehicle unless you have liability insurance as well.
I have.
It's part of your bond conditions. I am also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs.
Yes.
You will be randomly tested. If we find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of illegal drugs, I'm going to revoke your bond and put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you do for a living, Ms. Chestnut?
I'm working at this time on Social Security.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you mind? You know what? Let me see if I have one on file. Hold on. I need you to fill out an application for me. I'll take a look at it to see whether you qualify or not. If you do, then we'll appoint your lawyer. So for now, I'm going to have you go to Victoria Center, reset. He's going to give you the application and then we'll have you take your seat in the jury box, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay? Please.
Rada, Halil, page 3.
Good morning, Mr. Craddock. Mr. Craddock, you're charged with theft. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
Yes, Judge. One moment. It's loading right now. Okay. An officer was dispatched to a target in response to a theft. The officer made contact with the complainant, the loss prevention officer, who stated he observed the defendant come into the store and make a small purchase, leave, and then return and conceal merchandise in the shopping bags. The defendant then took the concealed merchandise and walked past all points of sale without paying. The total taken was $750.05.
And was he with anyone?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Craddock, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. How old are you, sir? What do you do for a living?
I am currently waiting for a call to get back so I can currently working.
Say that again.
I'm waiting for a call to get back to me, but I'm currently working at Taco Bell.
So you graduated from high school? Yes. Okay. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, sir?
Would it be okay if I ask my mom that?
Is your mom here? Sure, of course. Mom, come on up. Thank you so much for coming. Did you hear what happened? Okay. I'm asking him if he wanted to apply for an appointed lawyer. I don't want to talk about the case. I only would like to know, do you want a court-appointed lawyer?
This is his first. He's never been in trouble.
Let's not talk about the case.
Oh, come on.
I only want to know whether you guys would like a lawyer or not. Let me put it to you this way. You need a lawyer.
I was about to say yes, sir.
So you can either go hire a lawyer Right. Mr. Craddock, theft cases are probably one of the worst possible cases that you can pick up in this life. Once you are branded a thief, it's going to be nearly impossible to get a job. I have people that come back to me and say, hey, man, I can't get this apartment because I got this theft conviction. Please. It's truly one of the worst. You're just now starting in life. Life is hard enough for a young Black man in this society. Now you're going to make it even harder. Come on, man. Really? You know, go to school, study hard. You become something in this life. We'll give you a lawyer now. Don't go back to any Target. It's a part of your bond condition. If I find that you go back to Target, guess what happens? Right. I'm not asking much. Just follow the law. Don't pick up any new cases. Don't go back to Target. And then I'll provide you a lawyer today. All right? Okay, guys. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Victoria. We'll have you take your seat in the jury box. I need you to fill out an application for me, and then we'll have you talk to someone. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Judge, page 6. Gaston Gerardo.
So, no going to Target, please.
Yes, Judge.
Who you say?
Top of page 6.
Gascon. Good morning, Mr. Gascon. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. It's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because of the high blow, so you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On December 6, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle after observing it travel at a high rate of speed, approximately 67 miles per hour in a 50-mile-per-hour zone, and turning without using a turn signal. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage and red glassy eyes. The defendant advised he was coming from a company party and admitted to drinking 2 beers. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 0 out of 4. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.166 and 0.167.
Okay. Mr. Gascon, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Did you run his license?
It's eligible, Your Honor.
Okay. You are not allowed to drive unless you have valid liability insurance, and I am making that a condition of your bond. Do you understand?
Sure.
I am also ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand?
Sure.
We are going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. You'll get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go.
Yeah.
Don't wait. You need to get on it quick. There's a lot of timing requirements. All right? Okay, please.
Next judge is page 7. Gonzalez, come on up.
Mr. Capitan, come on up. How are you? Great to see you.
See you, Judge.
It's new.
You look very sharp.
Morning, Mr. Gonzalez.
Morning, yes, sir.
So you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On December 7th, 2024, officers conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle at approximately 1:59 a.m. after observing it driving without lights when required near the Texas Avenue. And the officer observed the defendant to be the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle. Officers observed the defendant to have red bloodshot, watery eyes and appear unsteady on his feet. The officers also observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emanating from his breath. The defendant stated he was coming from a bar where he had been drinking since around 11 p.m. The defendant had 6 clues on the HGN, but refused other standard field sobriety tests. The DIC was read, but the defendant refused. A blood search warrant was drawn and executed.
Got it. All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Have you run his license?
Yes, Judge, it's eligible.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm ordering you not to drive unless you have valid liability insurance in your name. Do you understand? I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. You're going to be randomly tested. If you're found to be consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, you will go to jail. I don't know if you'll get another PR bond. Do you understand? Now you have a lawyer, you've got a great lawyer. Listen to him and he'll take care of you. If he tells me he can't get a hold of you because you're playing games, then I will issue a warrant for your arrest. I'm waiving your appearance so you don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you got to stay in touch. You understand? All right, I'll have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll get you with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then you guys are free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Any questions?
Well, your driver, we'll talk about that. My driver every day, and said, insurance on my name.
Insurance.
You guys talk. If there's anything else that you need, you can always come back. Yeah. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm really, really happy that you're here. Thank you for coming.
No problem, no problem.
Really, I think that it's a big feat that you're even here because in times past, yeah. So I'm really happy that you're here. Come back. Good things happen, Ms. Mireles, when you come back. We're not bad people, I swear.
Thank
So what's going on now?
He picked up this evading. They're waiting for discovery on it before they make an offer. They want to look at discovery before they make an offer.
Is discovery complete?
We're still waiting on body cam and dash, Your Honor.
Okay, I mean, it's only 50 days old. Where are you living? What are you doing with yourself these days? Shh.
I'm still staying with kind of in between shelter, and then I'm also on the street a little bit. But
No, how do we get you off the street?
hard. I went to my caught houses, and I went there, and it was very strange because with the paperwork and everything that I had to deal with, it was hard to explain. They told me I was going to one house, but I ended up going to another house, which was complete opposite of what they had said that I would be going to. The conditions were much worse than I had expected, and it just
Shatoria, what can we do to help Mr. Mireles as far as housing? Do we have? He's gonna qualify for the TAP funding. There's no doubt. We've got a list of places. Do you have a phone?
yeah, I run off Wi-Fi, but I do have one, so I can call.
Do you have a phone? Okay, so there's a list of places that you can go there that, so what specifically can we do, Shatoria? Like housing wise?
I think today.
Oh, well, no, but I know that you have stuff to do.
He can follow me back to the office and we have a social worker there.
Wonderful. Do you mind doing that so we can find you a place to stay?
Yeah. If not today, I have to get her to the vet, and it's offered for free. She has to get her shots.
Whoa. I don't want, once you go, you're not coming back. You're here already. Just why don't you go talk to them?
If I miss her shots, but I'll go.
You could get the shots later.
Yeah.
Okay? Whether you get it now, whether you get it in 4 hours, it's not gonna make a difference. You're already here.
I understand, yeah.
Really, we can try to find you a place to stay.
Okay.
Or would you prefer to stay on the street?
No, it's just, I don't know, I'm not so optimistic. I've tried several times and
It's a lot with the initiative that the city of Houston is doing, getting the people off the street, shelters are filling up.
I just kind of gave up hope with getting help.
Don't give up hope. Never give up hope. There's always something out there. We can always find you something. It's you gotta want it though.
Yeah,
right?
I do really want to.
Stay with Lori. Let me get you over there today. I'm happy that you're here. No one's gonna do anything to your bond. Just keep coming back and good things will happen. The only other thing I'm gonna ask you to do is stay in touch with Lori.
Oh,
Okay? Whether it's via email, whether it's phone, however it may be.
yeah.
When you do that, good things will happen. Unfortunately, we can't do anything with your case today because they don't have any evidence. Can you get it as quick as possible, Alex, please?
Yes, Your Honor, we can reach out and get an escalation, Your Honor.
Please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Time is of the essence.
Yes, Judge.
So why don't we pick a court date now so he knows when our next setting is? Okay. Please go with them, all right?
Okay, well, yeah.
Come on.
All right.
Good things happen when you come, you know. that.
Really, thank you. All right. Hey, it's great to see you, Mr.
Thank
Davis.
you.
Really, I'm proud of you for coming. I want you to understand that above all else, here, I'm going to protect my city at all cost from every single person. I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if it's a small farm animal. I will do everything in my power to protect this public at all cost. And if that means making your bond extremely high, I'm going to do it in a heartbeat. There are certain expectations that we have here. You are not to use alcohol. You are not to use illegal drugs. I'm going to test you again 45 days from today. And if you test positive for marijuana, that tells me that you've continued to smoke. If you stop today, then the next time you come back to test, you should test negative. Do you understand? It's gonna stop one way or the other. You're not to have contact with the complaining witnesses in this case. You're not to be in possession of any weapons, and you're not to pick up a new case. You know what the expectations are. So if you violate these conditions, you know what's gonna happen. Do you understand? We're gonna reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. I'm gonna have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, we'll give you 45 days. We'll see you back then. Expect a test. It's going to happen.
And
Do you
said
understand?
my lawyer, name from right here. I don't know who my lawyer is.
I don't think did we give him a lawyer?
No, Judge.
No, and it's late. So what I can do is if you want to come back next week, we can give you a lawyer. I'll give you an application to take home, but it's late now. Everybody's gone. Pick a day next week. You want to come back and we can give you a lawyer that day. And then, but understand, in 45 days, I'm going to test you. Don't do anything that necessitates you having a gun. Don't have a weapon. Do you understand? All right, come on.
I can text her now.
Yeah, please. All right, you are Roland Gomez.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gomez, you're charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. That allegation kicks it up to a Class A misdemeanor, so you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
All right.
On December 7th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a disturbance regarding an unknown weapon at an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officers met with the complainant, who advised that the defendant, her brother, came home from work drunk and began arguing with her. The complainant stated that at one point, the defendant told her, "I'm going to fuck you all up, I'm going to beat your ass, and I don't care who gets in my way." The complainant stated she was in fear for her life and believed the defendant was going to follow through with the threat to her. Upon making contact with the defendant, the officer observed red glassy eyes and a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage.
Got it. All right, Mr. Gomez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. You have the rip done. What does sister want? Does she want to continue to have contact with him?
Your Honor, the RIP has not been completed at this time. Okay, do you mind? The RIP is not done on this one for no contact. Go.
You don't have a number, Judge, on that one.
That's the one.
And that's the one we were in.
Right, I was making sure.
I looked at the offense report, Judge. There's no number listed on it and there's no number listed in the CCH. So I just am gonna get my investigator on it. I couldn't locate her
Okay.
and that's why I
Okay.
couldn't do the RIP.
So, Mr. Gomez, the way it works is that I'm going to order you not to have contact with this person because I don't know if she wants to have contact with you. Until I know, I'm going to order you not to have contact. I'm also going to enter in a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is a court order that identifies her as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you violate this court order, the state can and probably will file a violation of protective order. And it's one of the worst cases you can pick up. You pick up one of those, things will go sideways extremely quick. I am also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or illegal drugs, likewise, you will end up getting your bond revoked. Do you understand? What do you do for a living?
One more, sir. Car pusher.
Good.
And, I'm just,
A month. I don't want to talk about the case. You need a lawyer to represent you, and I'm asking you these questions to see whether you have the ability to hire a lawyer.
oh, I don't have no, I don't have the money to hire, but I thought I signed for,
I'm happy that you're working. It makes me happy, and I'm happy to give you a lawyer. If you're working full-time, even, I don't care. You're not killing it, that's okay, but I'm happy to give you a lawyer. My only concern is follow the law. Don't be a danger to my public. Do you understand?
yes, sir.
As long as you're not a danger, you and I will be best friends. Otherwise, we'll be mortal enemies, and I'm telling you, it's not going to go well. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Just keep working, do your thing. I already have an application on file. So for now, I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We're going to have you take a seat in the jury box while we compile all the documents, while we sign it, and then I'll have you talk to a lawyer here momentarily.
Okay. And my only question is, they wanted to see like paperwork, to see at my job, they wanted to see some paperwork that it could show that I can't go back to work. Since the moment I had gotten the PR bond, they just asked me to wait to go to court. It's temporarily just see.
Do you need like a work excuse?
No, to like, am I allowed to like go bad? Like, they told me to take
So let's do this. Let me give you the lawyer. You can talk to the lawyer, and the lawyer can talk to me, and we'll go forward. Okay? Let's just do that.
To work, yes, sir.
Yeah, and I want you to go back to work. You need to be productive, right? So, all right, let me have you just sign a reset, and we'll have you take a seat in the jury box, and I'll find your lawyer here momentarily. Okay? All right,
Mr.
bud.
Gomez, you can come up here. All right, just next is case 7. Come on up.
And Your Honor, I'm Gomez, no contact, no weapons for bond conditions.
Don't worry about it. Because we're monitoring him for no alcohol,
Yes, Judge.
right?
Judge, you said no firearms, no weapons.
Yeah, yeah. No alcohol, no drugs, random UAs, no contact, no going back to the house in question. I think that's it. Ms. Okafor, I have your client in the box. So if you want to do PC, you have an arraignment, right?
Yes.
So let me just do this and then we can get you, okay? What's the name?
Guidry on
Got
page
it.
7.
All right, good morning, Ms. Guidry. Ms. Guidry, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, man.
Yes, Judge. On December 7th, 2024, at approximately 2:35 a.m., the officer conducted a traffic stop on the defendant's vehicle after observing it stopped at a light with the right turn indicator on, but the vehicle not moving. The light cycled 2 more times to green, but the vehicle did not move. Upon making contact with the vehicle, the officer observed the defendant, the driver, and a passenger to both be asleep, and the passenger had an open liquor container on her lap. The vehicle was in drive, and the defendant's foot was on the brake pedal. The defendant eventually woke up after continuous attempts to wake the defendant and the passenger. The officer observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage on the defendant's breath and person. The defendant admitted to drinking 3 Hurricanes and 2 Amarettos, and standard field sobriety tests were performed. HGN 4 out of 6, walk and turn 7 out of 8, one leg stand 4 out of 4. The GIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were 0.107 and 0.103.
Got it. Ms. Guidry, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Does she have a Texas driver license?
It's eligible, Your Honor.
Okay. You're not allowed to drive unless you have liability insurance in your name. This is a condition of your bond. If you violate these conditions, then you will go to jail. Do you understand? I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. Likewise, you test positive for drugs or alcohol, illegal drugs or alcohol. It's not going to go well. Do you understand, ma'am?
Yes.
Tell me, what do you do for a living?
I am a CPA.
You're a CPA. How much money do you make a month?
How much money I make a month? I want to say like 8. I'm not.
8,000?
Yeah, I'm not.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Are you 8,000 a month? Are you kidding me? That's amazing. What are you talking about? Killing it. No. Sorry. Let's not say it any further. You need a lawyer to represent you. Okay. We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. We'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions. You really make that kind of money, Mo? Doing that?
Exactly, I'm aiming to
Oh,
something, but almost
you work full-time?
no.
Can you afford a lawyer?
I can.
Okay, we'll give you time. If you ever have any issues, come back, talk to us, and then we can always go further, whether you need an appointed lawyer or not. Okay? So I'm just, communication is key. I need you to talk to me, and then we can, if you need, we can appoint your lawyer if you have any problems out there, okay? All right, so understand this, though, there's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI, so don't wait. Get on it quick, okay? Yes, ma'am.
Page 8, Jimenez, come on up. Page 8, Jimenez.
Is that you?
It's my dad. It's my dad, sir.
Where's Vladimir Jimenez?
A detention center, sir. I did.
So
I did hire a lawyer, sir. She's supposed to be in contact with you. Miss Esther. Esther?
Mr. What?
I don't know, I just have.
You have a,
Apparently the dad is the one that's on the docket, and this is the daughter trying to say he's in a detention center somewhere.
right, so
But it's, yeah.
just, let's do this. I'm gonna readdress this in a little bit. Let's see if is your lawyer supposed to come here today?
No, she can't. We've been talking all week and she said that this was too on top of her schedule, so she
Okay, so let's
can't.
do this. Just, I'm gonna have you take a seat. We'll come back in a little bit and we'll figure out how to go forward. Do you know how to look at the,
I can see if they're.
if not, I'll do it in a bit. You know, once we do, I'll look to see if we can find him online, if he's in, ICE. Ms. Okafor, are you ready? Hey, can we do Miss? Okay, so you have Miss Adams, right?
Mhm.
Okay, come up, ma'am.
Is she in the jury box because she was late?
No, no,
Oh, just for a ring. Okay.
she's not in trouble. No one's,
All right.
I just wanted to make sure that we had her, we don't lose her. Hi. Shall we dance? All right, so Miss Adams, you were charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge. The officer was dispatched to a gas station in Harris County, Texas, in response to a welfare check. Upon arrival, the officers noticed the defendant's vehicle with a flat tire and front right bumper damage, with the defendant asleep, laying backwards in the driver's seat. The officer observed that the vehicle was off, but the keys were in the ignition. While officers were investigating, the defendant began to wake up, and the officer observed the defendant reach into her back seat. The officer opened the door and began asking the defendant how the vehicle damage occurred. The defendant stated she did not know. The officer asked for the defendant's license, and when he received it, there was vomit on it. The officer also observed vomit on the side of the door and an odor of an alcoholic beverage. Officers asked the defendant where she was coming from, and the defendant stated she left Uptown Lounge at approximately 3 a.m. and pulled into the gas station after noticing her tire was flat. The defendant admitted to having one mixed drink at the bar, and upon an inventory search of the vehicle, the officer found car keys on the back seat and more vomit in the center console. Standard field sobriety tests were conducted, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 6 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. The DIC was read and breath was consented to. The results were 0.097 and 0.095.
Okay. Do you want to say anything?
I mean, I guess the only thing that I wanted to add or just emphasize for the court that she pulled over to a public place. The car technically was off, right?
What time did the officers arrive?
And her breathalyzer was very low.
It was 8:25.
So 8
a.m.
or is that 8 a.m.?
I believe it's 8 a.m. Your Honor. Yes, Your
She
Honor.
pulled into a public place because, I mean, her tire was flat. So at that time,
She didn't remember how that occurred.
That's based off what the officer says, but we haven't listened to
This is PC.
Yeah, so.
The officer also did see the keys in ignition. I just want to emphasize that.
Say that again?
He did witness like the keys being in the ignition when he approached.
But you said the keys were in the back trunk.
He said he saw the defendant reach behind into the back seat while he was conducting his investigation, but when he first approached the vehicle, the keys were in ignition. I confirmed that with the officer yesterday. And it's on body cam.
If you find something later on, come back to me and we can have a hearing over it. I'm gonna find probable cause for now, Miss Adams. Don't drink, don't use any illegal drugs. I'm making that a condition of your bond. Please, man, okay? Any prior DWIs? Alex?
This is her first case, Your Honor.
Okay, so just, you've got a great lawyer. She's relentless. Listen to her, she'll take care of you. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. And she'll tell you when, if and when you have to come back to court, okay? I'm gonna have you sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll just have you get with your bond conditions with Felicia and then you're free to go, man. All right, be careful, man. Yeah, she has a license, yeah. Okay. All right, good morning, Ms. Torres.
Good morning, Your Honor.
And you are wanted out of the state of Colorado for assault 3. Are you waiting formal extradition, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is for the 14 days. You understand, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So she has a local hold. She's charged with endangering a child here. And so it's set out in March. We'll pick a time in January when Abel already has another setting to just check.
She has not made bond on that case?
That bond's currently set at 50,000 as well.
Okay, so
I was trying to see when Abel.
so you're familiar with the process. I'm sure you explained that the typical requirement for that other state to come get you is basically told while you have not made bond on that case. Once bond is made, at that point, that's when the time starts ticking for Colorado to come get you.
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
so I guess we'll just, and I think she has other out of county holds too, right?
I want to make sure I have it right. I think I saw another hold, but
I see out of La Plata. Oh, no, wait, that's Colorado.
she has an out-of-county potential engaging organized criminal activity. She also has an immigration hold. So obviously those other two, I don't know what the other, I don't know what the other county is, but that hold was placed at the same time this fugitive case was filed.
Okay, all right. Well, regardless, man, we wish you the best of luck, okay? Thank you.
January 6th.
You are Victor Jose Garcia Bejarno. Sir, you were charged with tampering with a government record. You are facing up to a year in jail and/or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Yes, Judge. On December 7th, 2024, the officer observed the defendant's vehicle with a defective front headlight and a temporary tag with an expiration date of September 2024. The officer found the tag was registered to a white BMW and not the Chevy Impala the defendant was driving, and a traffic stop was initiated. The defendant told the officer he bought the car from a friend over 1 month prior, but did not receive a bill of sale. The officer found the tag was fictitious after running it through MDT.
Mr. Garcia, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I don't know what your immigration status is, but I'm going to give you a warning now. And this is the only warning that you're going to get. If you are not in this country with permission and you go to jail and immigration finds you, they will very likely put an immigration detainer on you and you will be stuck like Chuck in custody until the case is over with. And then you will be shipped off to immigration where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months. If you do not want that to happen, do not violate our laws. You are not to drive if you don't have a Texas driver license, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. Do you understand? Have you seen whether he has a license or not?
We have no license on file, Your Honor.
You're not allowed to drive. Do you understand? Yes or no? You will be signing a promise with me today, Mr. Garcia, that you understand and that you're going to comply with this if I find that you drive, because you're to have a Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. And if you don't, there'll be a lot to pay. How old are you, sir?
27.
What do you do for a living?
We're putting them on.
How much money do you make a month?
Dinero a nada. It depends on how many lawns I get to cut. It's sometimes about 200 a week.
Okay. Did you want to apply for a court-appointed lawyer,
Yeah,
sir?
era por un abogado de oficio.
Sí, pero yo no tengo nada.
Yes, but I don't have any money
Don't worry about that.
acerca de eso.
I'm going to,
Voy a-
if you qualify, I will provide you a lawyer today. I want you to understand that I take these laws extremely serious. And when I'm telling you not to drive, do not drive. Do you understand? I don't want you to say, but I want you to understand. All right. We'll get you to fill out all the paperwork and then we'll get with you here shortly.
More Spanish speaking, one point. Step all the way up for you. This is Mr. Caceres, Your Honor, for the waiver. Turned out we didn't need a translator after all.
Right. Good morning, Mr. Caceres. So Amy, what's he wanted for?
He's wanted for first degree sexual assault.
Okay. So are you waiving formal extradition, Mr. Caceres?
Yes.
Okay. We got you. We'll just need you to sign the document. And then that's it.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge Fleischer.
All right. So did you get the particular county?
Yes, we figured it out. It's,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, take care.
we figured it out. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ricardo. I need to sign it.
Yeah, it turns out we don't need to count. Yeah.
Can you imagine if we did? That would be like literally
An argument, it's like,
open. No, make the argument. Really, it doesn't hurt.
I was in disbelief. You don't need to count, really?
Okay, Mr. Taman. Oh, hold on.
We just had one more Spanish speaking argument. That was Martinez on 10. Just waiting for Victoria.
For the next one. Martinez, come on up.
Juan Manuel. Come on up. Hey, keep it down. Juan Manuel Martinez.
Yes, sir.
So you're charged with assault of a family member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The complainant and the defendant are married. On December 5th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in reference to a family disturbance. Officer met with the complainant, who stated the defendant arrived home intoxicated. The defendant was still in his car, and she went over and removed the keys from the ignition. The defendant walked up to the landed on her left knee, on herself with her left hand. The complainant stated she felt pain from being pushed and from hitting the ground.
Mr. Martinez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I am now ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. Do you understand? I don't know what your immigration status is, but I'm going to give you a warning now. And this is the only warning that you're going to get. If you're not in this country with permission, you violate the laws and you go to jail and immigration finds you there, they will put a detainer on you and you will sit in jail until this case is over with. And then you will be shipped off to immigration, where you will sit for another 6 to 9 months waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do. If you do not want that to happen, do not violate the conditions I put on your bond now. If you violate these conditions, I will issue a warrant, put you in jail, and that's it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like I said, no alcohol, no illegal drugs. You will be randomly tested. If you fail to go test, likewise, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. A protective order was issued in this case on December 6th. I suggest that you get to know it. If you violate the protective order, the state can possibly will file a violation protective order against you, and it's one of the worst cases that you can pick up in misdemeanor court. Do we know whether she wants to have contact with him, guys?
Your Honor, RIP was attempted, but she was unable to speak at the time that we called, so we'll call again when we can.
I don't know whether she wants to have contact with you. So until I know that, I'm ordering you not to have contact with this person. I don't care what your excuse is. Excuses mean absolutely nothing to me. What matter are choices. You can either make a wise choice or you can make the wrong choice. You know what the expectation is here, and if you make the wrong choice, there's only one place we have for you. Do you understand? No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no weapons. Don't have any contact with this person, and don't violate the protective order. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'm going to first have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. I'll have you meet with Felicia for your bond conditions, and after that, you're free to go.